This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning. On today's session, we're going to discuss about how to run your multiple SQL queries using task. We're going in the task. We're going to set the cron pattern at a particular time. What will happen, right? Your SQL queries will be triggered. Okay, it can be a store procedures, it can be a SQL queries, or it can be a Snowflake scripting language. You can able to trigger using task. You can't able to trigger the Java code or Python code directly using task because task is your database objects. You can't trigger the UDF as well, user defined function as well using task. Now I'm going to discuss about the things. Yesterday I discussed about what is serverless compute model and user managed virtual warehouse model. Okay, now we're going to see in depth about what is serverless compute model and what is meant by user managed virtual warehouse. Okay, we have two compute resources. One is serverless compute model. Now in serverless compute model, everything is managed by Snowflake. If you see the word serverless, everything managed by Snowflake. Depends on the workload, it will choose your warehouse. Now, in serverless compute model, I'm going to use some tasks for schedule my SQL queries, for scheduling my procs. I'm going to use the serverless compute model. It's purely rely on the compute resources managed by Snowflake instead of user managed virtual warehouse. It won't depends on the user. Everything will be rely on the Snowflake because Snowflake only going to provide the compute resources for you. Okay, the Snowflake what will do, right? It will take care of everything. It will be automatically going to resize your warehouse based on your workloads, based on your ETL or ELT workloads. It will going to resize your warehouses. Okay, if you have a big warehouse, right, you have more memory to execute your SQL queries, and then you can have n number of tasks as well. For example, if I want to have 1,000 tasks, for 1,000 tasks execution, I need should have your large warehouses. If you're choosing small warehouses, that won't have that much capacity to trigger all the 1,000 tasks. 1,000 tasks means one will be the root, the remaining 99, remaining 999 will be the
Child.
one child task. Child task. Okay. As per the workload, you have to choose a warehouse. I am giving everything to the serverless one. Snowflake only going to manage everything. Okay. Now you might have a question: how the Snowflake will know the workload? Because Snowflake, what will do, right? It will do some dynamic analysis or statistics based on the recent runs on the same task. For example, if it's running the task, right, it will take the statics as well as some dynamic analysis will be done in the back end. If you have the statics, right, then you can think like, okay, for this much aerial workloads, I want to choose this warehouse. It will have all the kind of statistics informations or kind of dynamic analysis it will do for the most recent run of same task. Okay, now you might have a question: how it having this statistics? Because in the previous run will have statistics, last 10 runs will have statistics. Based on the statistics, it will choose the warehouses. And then the maximum compute size of serverless task is XX large. This is the maximum compute size of a serverless task. What size it is? What's the
XX
maximum
large.
size? X large. It's a warehouse size actually. If it's user manager, you can go for computer underscore WH, X small, X large, double XL large. Okay, everything you can go for, but this is the maximum size for serverless task. Um it's similarly equivalent to user managed warehouse. User managed warehouse. And then now you may have a question. Yeah, I having around 50 ETL jobs or 1,000 ETL jobs. I want to schedule all the 50 ETL jobs. What I have to do? Like you can have the task using a serverless task. You can use using serverless task. Multiple workloads will going to share. Yeah, common set of computer resources. Whatever it has computer resources, right? That's going to share to multiple workloads. Okay. Now you might have a question. What about a cast for a serverless task? Okay. What happens, right? Uh, Serverless task, for example, it will follow the standard credit consumption model. Okay. If it is running right, then only they'll go for charges. Otherwise, if in idle state, they won't charge you. That's the beauty in the serverless task. Whenever the job get triggered by using task, how much time you're consuming those tasks, for that much time you have to pay the charges. They are following the standard credit consumption model for task. It's purely rely on the virtual warehouses. Okay, if you are choosing X small or X large or double XL small, double XL large, depends on the warehouse. They will go for the credit consumption model. Now, good. Now, I want to say two things to you. Serverless task. Okay, once again, yeah. However, server task cannot invoke the following object types and functions developed inside of Snowflake. It won't support. It won't support
Use a different function.
functions that contains Java or Python code. Okay, and then if you are writing store the proc using Scala or you are using some Snowpart data frames, if you try to call those UDF that are kind of Java or Python code, okay, it won't be supportable in the serverless task. You have to keep in mind, guys, if you are writing user different functions that kind of Java Python code, you're not able to trigger those UDF using serverless task. And then if you're writing something in Scala, it's a language actually, like Java and Python. Scala is a language. You can't able to trigger. And then next one is user managed task. Everyone knows everything have to take care of as only. Okay, depends on the workload. You have to choose your own warehouses. Now, for example, executing SQL queries or store procedures, you have to manage your own warehouse. You have to manage. You have to choose your warehouse. Depends on the workloads. Now, we're going for the how to choose the warehouse size. I only said right based on our workloads. You have to choose a warehouse. Now, you might have a question how to choose a warehouse, whether I want to go for X small or X large or double XL large, which warehouse I have to choose. Now, what you have to do, right? First, you have to analyze your average runtime of a single task. Satish, go to Snow site and then just look at your task. You can able to see your average runtime for a single task, or you can see the task graph. Okay, and then you can see how much time it's taking to run your SQL queries, how much time it's taking. Okay, if it's taking more time, then you can go for some larger warehouses. This is how you have to do manually. If it is serverless, everything managed by
Snowflake.
everything managed by
Snowflake.
Snowflake. It will do the dynamic analysis and static analysis. Sendamal, what a serverless task will do? It will do the dynamic analysis, all kind of statistic information between the all kind of static information of the previous task. It will be it will have based on the previous task information. It will choose your workloads, but in user managed task, what you have to do? What you have to do? You need to
Manually give the.
you have to analyze. You have to analyze the average runtime for a single task. Okay, then you have to choose your warehouse. Sendamal, you have to analyze the Suhita Priya, you have to analyze the
Average runtime.
average runtime of your
Single task.
single task. You have to analyze it. Just to have to go to Snow site and then based on the previous runs, you have to analyze it. and then or you can see the task graph using different warehouses. You have to use some different warehouse, Excel, X small, X large. Now you have the statistic information of Excel, X small, X large. You have to see all the runtime, start time, end time. Okay, how much time it's taking. Based on that, you have to choose your warehouse, which warehouse it's performing good. You have to choose a warehouse. Sendamal, which warehouse you will prefer? Based on which information you will choose a warehouse? Based on which information you will choose a warehouse?
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, I'm saying to you, whenever choosing warehouse, okay, in the user managed task, you have to see the average runtime of task, and then you have to see the yeah, you have to see the previous history, how much time it took, and then you have to choose your different warehouses, and you have to see the performance. Based on that, you have to choose your warehouse size. Okay, now um, if you are running more than one or two tasks, right, what happens? You have to see the task graph. There will be one concept called task graph. We're going to see it later. The first task will be the root for you. The remaining tasks will be the child task. Okay, what happens, right? In while running your root task, what happens after root task execution? Your child task will execute in a sequential manner. In a sequential manner. Each child task will have one precedence. Precedence means the parent. Okay, each child will should have a one precedence. If the precedence completed a task, then only the child task will trigger. And then, yeah, if you are choosing some large warehouse, right, what will happen, right? You can able to accommodate multiple tasks running simultaneously. What you can do, if you have multiple child tasks, you can make it simultaneously. You can able to make it run, but you should have a large warehouses. Now, I'm going to show some graph to you. This is a 1 minute window. This is a 1 minute window. I have only single task. I have here only single task. Okay, what happened, right? First, while you start the task, it will be queued for 20 seconds. It will be queued for 20 seconds because in the 20 seconds, what happens, right? Your warehouse should assign the proper resource to your task object. Then only your task will trigger. Okay. Now what happens, right? Though it's a 1 minute window, this you can see the shaded colors, right? It's 20 seconds. It's queued. Now after 20 seconds only, your task starts running, and then it's ran for around 40 seconds. First 20 seconds it is in which one? It is in Chandamal.
Good, sir.
Though it's 1 minute window, first 20 seconds it was.
Good, sir.
I'm asking Chandamal. First 20 seconds it was.
Good, sir.
uh, It was queued. After 20 seconds it will start run. It will take around 40 seconds to complete those tasks. And then now I'm going to show a few diagrams to you guys. Yeah. Now I took 10 minutes window. I took 10 minutes window. Now you can able to see I have three tasks. Task 1, task 2, task 3. Task 1 is a root, task 2 is a child, task 3 is the child. For task 3, who is the procedure? For task 3, who is the procedure?
Task 2, sir.
Task 2. For
Task two,
task 2
sir.
is a task 2 is a procedure.
Task one.
Task 1. So, For task 2, who is the procedure? Task 1. Now, what is the average time it took to run for this 3 tasks? What is the average time it took to run the 3 tasks? It took around
Seconds.
5 minutes.
5 seconds.
You can see the
5 minutes.
it there's a 10-minute window. I'm saying there's a 10-minute window. Like you can see, it took around 5 minutes. Average time is took 5 minutes because what happens, right? It will be queued and then it will try to run. And then what happens, right? Second task, what happens? It is queued for somewhat 20 seconds. After that, start running. And third task, what happens, right? It will queued for some seconds because one task is dependent on another task. Task 2 is dependent on another task. You can see, right? After task 1 completed, it will go to the queue position and then will trigger the task. And then task 2 is completed, then it will go for queue position and then task 3 will trigger. Okay. Now, the average of 3 tasks is how many minutes?
5 minutes, sir.
5 minutes. But the each task will take how many minutes? Each task maximum will take how many minutes?
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
It's taking nearly like not 1 minute. It's taking, you can see, like 1.5 minutes taking average. Somewhat I can mention, like here it's showing 1, but you can see here it's 1.5. That's 1.5. Okay, good. This is how the task will work. It will go to the internal queue and then will start triggering the task operations. Okay, now everything is good. Now we have to go for recommendations. If you are choosing compute model, it can be serverless or user managed. Okay, based on which category you have to go for serverless or user managed, based on number of duration and predictability of concurrent task workloads. If you have any concurrent task workloads, right? Concurrent means parallel execution. Parallel execution workloads, then you can go for which task, serverless or user managed. Okay. Now, if you want to run in concurrent task means there won't be a depend of another task. For concurrent task, there won't be any precedence. It will run independently. Now, mostly if you go for serverless task, right, it's underutilized warehouses with too few tasks running concurrently or completing quickly. Okay, mostly it's a serverless task account for only few tasks you can go, and then if you want to run concurrently, right, then you go for serverless task. Okay, and then you want to fully utilize a warehouse with multiple concurrent tasks, you can go for the user managed task. What's the difference is, if you want to run a few tasks or want to run concurrently for few tasks, you can go for serverless task. It will complete very quickly. But if you user managed task, right, what happens if you want to run many concurrent tasks, you can go for user managed task because you only choosing the warehouse, you can utilize the full warehouse. That what it's recommended for fully utilized warehouse with multiple concurrent tasks. Okay, and then now we'll discuss about this serverless task. Uh, if you go with serverless, what will happen, right? You can able to see some stable runs. Stable run means like what happens, there won't be much failures. Okay, and then average time also will be maintained for every task, and then that's why you'll prefer the serverless task. If you want to go for some stable runs, stable means every task will take average like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm saying example, every task will take average 5 seconds or 5 minutes. Okay, some kind of stable runs you can see for all the child task as well. Then you can go for serverless. And then if you want to choose user managed task, if unpredictable workload is coming, unpredictable workload in the sense, guys, today I am getting 1 GB data. Tomorrow suddenly I am getting 10 terabyte of data. Unpredictably, I am not able to see any workloads like what data is going to come. At that time, I can go for this user managed task. Okay, and then it has auto suspend state and auto resume state should be enabled for user managed task. What happens, right? If 10 consecutive error occurs, it will go to the auto suspend state. And then auto zoom also you can make it enable to have the credit consumption very moderate. Okay. Now second point is schedule interval. Okay. Now okay. Now schedule interval. Schedule interval, what happens, right? If you want to run a standalone task or scheduled task, okay, graph exceeds the interval, Snowflake increase size of the compute size warehouse. What happen? You are defining some time interval, okay, like 10 seconds. In the task, you can't keep 10 seconds. You can have only minutes. Okay, you are keeping some 2 minutes. Don't say in terms of seconds. Just think of minutes because task won't support minutes. It supports one. Task won't supports seconds. It will support only minutes. And keep on saying to you guys, task won't support seconds. It will support only minutes. Okay. Why if you are setting some 2 minutes or 3 minutes, what happens? You want to schedule some graph that exceeds the interval. Okay. At the time, what happened, right? It will automatically increase your compute resources. And then next one is user managed task. It is recommended the schedule interval is less important. You are not talking about the schedule interval. You're not caring about schedule interval. Okay, it might tends to overlap with one task with another task. Then you can go for user managed task. That is the slight difference we have. If you are running some standard task or scheduled task, if it is exceeding the interval, right, what happens? Snowflake automatically increases the size of the compute resources. If it increases the size of compute resources, what will happen, right? It will take less time to execute your task. Now, if it is user managed, what happens? You are not bothering about the schedule. It might tend to overlap. Okay, then you can go for the user managed one. Good. Now, we're going to see the demo now. The demo I'm going to show is I'm going to create one SQL queries. For the SQL query, I'm going to apply the schedule as CRON tab. CRON tab. The compute resource I'm going to use user managed task. Okay. Now we're going to see the demo. Now, this is the actual data, movies data. We have the ID, title, genre, release year, and director. And then we have around 95 records. We have around 95 records. Just do one thing, guys. Go to your Snow site and then go to worksheets and create a new worksheet. And then you can have the sheet name as task 2. Good. Choose a database. Data tx schema is Dynamic schema. Now create the DDL. The DDL is movies. Okay, good. DDL got created. And then I'm going to insert how many records?
95.
95 records I'm going to insert. Just insert 95 records. Now 95 records got inserted. Okay, if you want to see those records, right? Select star from, you can use movies. Got it? ID, title, genre, release year, director. Okay. Now I'm going to have one more table. I'm going to create DDL for this. Create or replace table movie summary. Movie summary. Just I'm going to have a genre. It's going to be a varchar of 100, and then just once run date. The run date I'm going to keep. What's the type run date? For run date, what data type I have to keep?
Date, sir.
Date. Yeah, good. Apart from Sadish, the three people not opening the mouth. Next one I'm going to keep is average release. Average release. What we can keep? Average release year per genre. Now, Sendamal, Sujita, Priya, and Anand, what's the data type I can keep? Average release year per genre. What's the data type I ought to keep here?
Yes, sir.
Average, what's the data type I want to keep? I want to get the average release year from this. What's the data type I want to keep here for getting DDL?
Number of
Anyone? Data type I'm asking. What's the data type I want to keep? Apart from Sadish, the three people can able to answer. What is the data type?
Timestamp or date?
I'm asking what is the data type for release year? You are saying timestamp. I'm asking average release year per genre. You are saying timestamp. What data type for this? See, most pointer.
Numbers.
Number, or you can go for int. Anand, we want to create the deal for the movie summary. Now, deal got created. Here you can able to see there is no records. Good. Just we have to do one thing, guys. What we have to do is we want to create a task. Can anyone say what's the command to create a task? Anyone? What's the command to create a task?
Sir, create task. Task.
Create or
replace.
replace? Satish, remaining people has to answer. Get a replace task and then give some task name. Movie analytics. Give this keyword, then only everyone can be able to understand this task. Okay, and then what's the next parameter you have to pass? Anyone? Varows. What's the varows we have? What's the varows we have?
Compute
Wait.
underscore WH.
Compute underscore WH. It's X small. It's X small. It is. Next, I already said to you, I want schedule using CRON pattern, right? Now, what is the next parameter I want to supply? Anand, Sendamal, Sujita, Priya. What's the next parameter I want to pass here? It's schedule. I'm going to use CRON. Using CRON. If I want to run every 1 minute, what is the CRON pattern I want to give here? Every 1 minute. Every 1 minute I want to run the CRON. Sendamal, every 1 minute I want to run the CRON. Every 1 minute. I'm asking the cron pattern every 1 minute, or how, I don't know what to say. Yesterday only I took this class. I'm asking every 1 minute I have to trigger
Sir,
the job.
it's a minutes.
See, I'm asking the pattern, man. Anyone?
Sir. Star.
Guys, make it mute. Guys, I'm keep on saying to make it mute. I have to make asterisk. You have to give the 5 asterisks. It will trigger every 1 minute. Now I'm going to use UTC. UTC. What does UTC stands for? Universal Time Coordinates. Okay. So the UK will follow this universal time. It will be 5 hours back. Okay. Now the time is 7:45, right? You have to make minus 5 hours 30 minutes. Okay, that will be UTC time for you. Okay, if you don't, if you have doubts, right, just go at Google and then check what's the UTC time. UTC time. Now it's 2:15, right? It's 5.5 hours back. 5.5 hours back, right? Now Sunday 9 June, 2:15 a.m. it is. That's the universal time. UTC time I'm going to follow. I'm going to run every 1 minute. Okay, good. Now what happens, right? You can give the comment as well. For understanding, you can give the comments. It's going to be daily movie and I can give the comment as daily every 1 minute movie. Guys, make it mute. I'm saying to you. Will begin. Good. This is how you can give a command. Now, I already said to you, right? I have to run multiple SQL queries. For multiple SQL queries, you have to use proc. Okay, for single query, you can use as. You can use as and then you can put a single query here. But I want to run some multiple queries. For that, you can create a proc or you can use PL language. What is PL language? Anyone? What is PL stands for?
Procedural language.
Procedural language, sir.
Procedural language you can follow. Okay, I'm going to follow procedural language to run multiple queries. The begin block I want to use. Okay, in the begin block, and then finally I want to use end block. Good. In the begin block, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table. Create or replace table as this command is ctas. Do you know what is ctas? Guys, I'm asking you, do you know what is ctas? Do you know what is ctas?
Yes, sir.
Ctas means
Create table as.
create table as. That's what I'm doing here. Create table as. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to write one query. You're going to give a query for me. Okay. You have to find average release year per genre. For that, you have to write one query. You have to find the average release year per genre. I will show the data to you guys. This is the actual data. Now, I'll give you like 30 seconds of time. Can you provide a query for me? Average release year per genre. Listen the question twice. Average release year per genre. Yeah. Anyone can give a query for me?
Sir, select genre, comma.
See, first you have to select all the columns, man. First you have to select all the columns. What are columns you're looking for? I'm looking for all the columns. ID, title, genre, release year. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I'll take up the four in the 4 columns as a display columns. These are display columns. And then now go ahead.
Average, sir. AVG
Average.
in the bracket. Release year.
Yeah, release year.
From table name.
See, I think he's not working in SQL queries. I'm asking that average release year per. He didn't understand the per genre. Anyone?
The group by means it will come.
Group by
Over.
genre.
Over.
Over, correct. You can use group by as well. Over,
Partition by
partition by
genre.
genre. And then give the alias name as average release year per genre from what is the table name?
Movie
Table
summary.
year
Movies.
movies. Who said movie summary? Who said movie summary?
Movies.
From movies. Good. Now we are creating some table using CTAS. I see. No one said to me, I use CTAS, but I didn't provide the table name. I didn't provide the table name. Genre. Genre. What I can give the name for us. 1 second, guys. Average release year per average release year. Average genre. Genre. Yeah. Yeah. Genre average release year. Okay. I'm getting a table like this. Now, what I want to do is, I already did on table. Guys, see this table. Summary table I have. In summary table, whatever I extracted, right? Whatever I extracted, I want to put in this table. I want to put the genre and which run date I'm running, and then average release year per genre. This information should be captured in this table. This is a summary table for you. This is a table I'm going to expose to client. I'm not going to expose this table to client. I'm going to expose this movie summary to the client. Okay, can you help me? How to insert these records in this table? What is statement? Just give the insert query. Insert into.
Genre.
Who said genre? Insert into. You have to provide the movie summary table. And then genre.
Genre. Run date.
Run date. Then
Average release year per genre.
the remaining 3 is not opening the mouth. Okay,
Values.
next. Why you want to give values? Whether I want to go manually hardcode the values or what? I want to make everything dynamic. Now, I need genre, run date, and average release year per genre. It is already available in this table. Genre average release table. Then how I have to insert? Anyone, guys? I want to make everything dynamic. Sendable. If you don't know the answer, say no. I'll start continuing that itself.
Select start from.
Yeah, that's it. Select. You can use first one is genre, right? You can use genre, and then a run date. Run date means when you're running, right? That run date I should provide. For that, what I can do. Current date function I can use. Current date function will give the current date. That is going to run date for you. When you're running the job, right? That run date will current date for you. Next one is
Average release
release
year
per
per.
movie. Yeah, we have the column, right? And then you have to use from table name. Which table name?
Genre average.
Genre average release year.
Release year. That's it. Now, what I have to do, right? I'm going to truncate the table every time. Just write on truncate query here. Truncate table. Which table I truncate?
Sir,
Movie
genre
summary.
average release.
Who said genre average release here? See, this is a table I'm going to expose to the client. Movie summary. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm truncating the movie summary and then inserting the data. Every day, right? Whenever I'm running this job, the movie summary table is truncated and then I'll insert the data, fresh data. Okay, good. Everything good, right? Everything good. As of now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this part because I want to show them results. While showing the results, what will happen, right? It will keep on truncating, right? That's why I'm commenting as of now. Later, I'm going to remove this part. Okay. Later, I'm going to remove the comment part. Now, that's it. This is a query I have written. Where is the end block here? Yeah, here we have the end block. Good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a one database object. What is the object name now? I'm going to create one database object. What's the object now? Name now? Anyone? Guys, I'm saying to you, make it mute. It's a task. Just create a one database object called tasks. Now it's got created. If you want to see the task, right? What's the command?
Show
If
task.
you want to show task, that's it. If you want to see a database object, you have to use show task. Now see what state it belongs to. Show task, not task. Show tasks. Now you have to say, I have various tasks, right? Now look into the movie analytics tasks. Just scroll down. Okay. Now it's having any precedence? It's having any precedence? Movie analytic task is having any precedence?
No, sir.
It's not having any parent. What is state now?
Suspended, sir.
Suspended.
Suspended state. If you want to make it start state or active state, what command I have to use?
Alter, sir. Alter.
Alter task. Task name you have to provide. What's the task name I have here? I have like the task name is for me is movie analytic task. I think I'm not able to copy movie analytics. Okay, I want to make it resume. Then only it will move from suspend state to
Same state.
active state. Active state called start state. Okay. Now again run show tasks. Now you can see it got started. Now started, right? Just do one thing, guys. Take that movie summary. Select star from movie summary. Now this table is not having any data as of now. Once the task is triggered, this table should have the data. We have to, guys, wait for 1 minute. Yeah, now you can see, right? After 1 minute, you can see what we are finding here. Actually, I want to know
Sir, average release.
Average release year per genre. Okay, what's the average release? Now drama, the average release is 1999. Okay, average you can see in this year, right? Average more than the movies got released. Now we can say 100 as well. Okay, 24, 68, drama, crime movie, action movie, fantasy, drama, scientific fiction, drama, crime, scientific fiction again. Good. Now I will show one more table as well. Previously, this table is not having any data. Now you can see the data. Yeah, good. Select star from. Yeah, now you can see the average release here 1998.550. 1989. You can see the average release here, right? Based on the genre, I took the average release year per genre. Okay, everything is working fine. Now, what will happen, right? If you want to see some fresh data, what do I do? You have to, we have to truncate the, truncate the
Movie, movie summary.
movie summary table. That's it. Just again go and create a replace table. See, you can drop the task as well. If you have the command called drop task name as well. If you want to drop the task, I will show you guys. Drop task, and then, sorry guys, like a movie analytics task. You can drop the task as well. Yeah, now the task got dropped. If you want to create some task, you can use the same command again. Okay, now the task got created. Now you have to use a command called add task movie and task resume. Okay. Now what happened, right? After truncating movie summary table, again we'll insert the records. It will take 1 minute. I think I don't know why it's not loading. Yeah. No. I'm not able to see any data. Yeah. Now you can see the data, right? Genre, run date, average release per year. Okay, what happens, right? Every 1 minute will truncate a table and load the data. Truncate table, load the data. New data will be coming because we are using insert into, right? The old data will be removed, and then because I'm using truncate operation, okay, and then new records will be inserted. This is how it works. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more task. I'm going to create one more task. Can you give a command for me? How to create another task? Anyone? Task command. How to create another task? Task command. Task number 2. Give a command, guys. How to create tasks?
Create or replace.
Create or
Create
replace
or
task.
create or replace task. I'm going to give like task name is filter. Filter genre. Filter based on genre. Filter based on genre. It's a task. Okay, and then I have to give the values equal to compute underscore wh, and then because this is a child task actually. Filter based on genre task is child task, and then I have one more task called as a root task actually, which does a root task for me. Movie analytic task is a root task for me. This one is child task. Now guys, look carefully. I given the warehouses for my child task. Just go to the documentation. Yeah. See what you have to do, right? You have to use one command called after command. After the root task completed, then I have to trigger my task 2. Now in this command, which one is root task?
Sir, my task is
My task is a root task. My task 2 is a child task. You have to mention a command called after. After this task completion, root task completion, then you have to trigger my task 2. Now for my task 2, Anand and Sujita Priya, who is the president? For my task 2, who is the president? For my task 2, my task is the president. Yeah, same command you have to follow here. Okay, just after you can do like this. Okay, just go here. You can put after command after the which task I already mentioned here. Just go here and then movie analytic task. Movie analytic task. Guys, don't get confused. Okay, just put after command. That's it. And then you can use one as, and then you can write your queries. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use create or table name is filter records based on genre. Okay, as okay, select star from what's the table name, guys? Table name is movie summary, where genre equal to drama. Okay, just make D, guys, DRMA. Good, that's it. This is how you can create a child task. Okay, what happens, right? After the procedure is completed, procedure means after root task completed, then this task will trigger. That's it.
sir, create or replace.
Yeah, I made a Blender mistake. Create or replace. Just run this task. Unable to update graph with root task since the root task is not suspended. Okay, because see, whenever using after command, right? What you have to do? You have to make the root task suspended. Then only you can add the task to your root task. This is a child task actually. If you want to update to your root task, then what you have to do? You have to suspend your root task, all the tasks, and then root task is movie summary. Make it as suspend state. That's what the error is. Now it's not suspended. I think that's not authorized. What happened, guys? Oh my god. See, I given table name, man. No one said to me. I want to give
Task name.
task name. I want to give. I give me some table name. That's why it's throwing some error for me. That's why it's showing the alter task and then give suspend state. Now I'm suspending the root task. Okay, just do one thing, guys. Now you can create your child task. Now the child task got successfully created. Now what I have to do? I want to I want to I want to resume my root task. I want to resume my root task. Okay, then only what happens, right? My root task is triggered. Then after completion, my child task will trigger. For child task, no need to give any schedule because it depends on the root task. The child task depends on the root task. No need to give any schedule. Okay, good. Resume. Now it's got resume. Now what we have to do, right? Just take this table name and query the table name. Once the root job got completed, child job will trigger. Once child job is completed, you can see the results. What happened, right? Filter record based on genre. Why it's throwing error for me? Select star from its table only, right? Why it's throwing error for me, guys? I'm using only table, right? Okay. Filter records based on genre. Why it's showing some SQL completion error? We'll do one thing. We'll use that begin and end block. Let's see what happens. Just suspend my root task again. Just use begin block and then give the end block. Yeah. Now resume my root task. Yeah, everything done. Now you can why it's showing SQL completion error. Filter records based on genre. Create a replace table name as everything's good. Once again, guys, I'll see the tasks. Let's see what happens. Yeah, filter based on genre task. Schedule is null. Okay. It is suspended. Okay, good. Now I think we have to trigger it manually. Suspend state is there, right? Alter task and then what's the task name, guys, for this? Filter based on genre task. Make it resume. Unable to update the update graph the root task since the root task is not suspended. Okay. Since the root task is not suspended. Okay, we'll make it suspend. Now it got suspended. Now movie analytic task is there, right? Just we'll do one thing. Copy this one, keep as it is, and resume a child task. This is a child task actually. This is my child task. Now the child task got resumed. Okay. Now you can resume your root task. Okay. Now I am resuming my root task. Good. Go and see your show task, whether both are in the started state. Just move here and there. Now both got started, right? Both got started. Now just run this query. Let's see what happens. Yeah, because the job one is running. After 1 minute, the table will get created. Okay, that's why it's showing filter record based journal is not exist or not authorized, because the job one is running. After job one completion, the table will get created. After that, you can able to query this table. Okay, guys, wait for 1 minute. Because after job one, after task one completed, what happens? Task two will go to the queue state. After going to queue state, right, it will come to the starting state. That's why taking some time. Now you can able to see records. You can see only what genre?
Drama, sir.
Drama genre. Okay, guys, I want to give you a quick hint on this. First, create task one. This is the root task. Create task two. This is your child task. And task 3, depend on
Child task.
depend on task 2, and then task to depend on anyone.
Task 1.
Depend on anyone.
Task 1, sir.
Task 1. Now first what you have to do, in task 3 you have to give the after command. After task 2, you have to give a command called after
Task 1, sir.
task 1. Sunita Priya is opening the mouth. After task 1. Now what you have to do, first you have to resume the task 3. Resume task 3, and then resume task
2, sir.
2. Sunita Priya, resume task 3 and then resume task 2, and then finally
Resume
anyone?
task.
Resume task
Task
1. Okay, because we have to update the task 3 state to task 2. Now the task 2 should be in the suspended state. Then only can able to update the state. If you are resuming task 2, right, task 1 should be suspended. Okay, and then later you can resume task 1. Guys, I'm again saying to you, if you are resuming the task 3, task 2 should be which state?
Suspend.
It is suspended state. If you are resuming task 2, task 1 should be
Suspended.
suspended state. I'm asking the remaining 3 folks, they are not opening the mouth. If I am resuming task 2, task 2 should be Anand, Sendamal, Sujita Priya. If I resuming task 2, task 2 should, I made a better mistake, right? If I resuming task 3, task 2 should be
Suspended.
Go and
Suspended.
say it. If I receive task 2, task 1 should be
Suspended.
suspend state. Okay. If I want to see the task 3, in task 3 getting some table, in task 3 getting some table, the task 1 we want to make it resume.
Resume.
You want task 1 is a root. The remaining all are the child. Task 2 is the child of task 1. For task 3 is the child of task 2. Okay. For task 3, who is the president? Priya. For task 3, who is the president?
Task 2.
Task 2 is the president.
Task 1.
Task 1, like this, I did. Now you can able to see the tables. Filter record based on genre. I can see able to only drama. This is how you can create multiple chains. 1,000 tasks you can able to create. How many tasks? Real time, how can create? How many
1000 tasks.
tasks?
1000 tasks.
1,000 tasks you can able to create, and then chains also can create. Chains of one task with another task, one task with another task, because one task is dependent on another task, and then we can able to achieve the concurrency as well. We can be able to achieve concurrent execution. What is your concurrent execution? What is mean by parallel execution? That's it. Okay, that thing also possible. Okay, guys, I am going to close session right now. Today agenda is how to create your task using CRON pattern, and then how to execute the task chains. That part also completed. You can create n number of tasks. Okay, that the command you have to use, after command you have to use, after one task is completed, another task should trigger. Okay, if one task is triggered, right, second task will go into queue state. Okay, after that it will come from queue to starting state. Okay, like this, every task will have go to the queue state, then only it will execute that SQL query or store procedures or Snowflake scripting languages. Yeah.